What was the thing that sort of got you into playing football?
I think it would have just been playing football at my primary school. Before school, at morning tea and lunch, would be out on our field. This big group of us in our year group at Pilbardon Primary. Honestly, that's kind of my first memories of playing football in general, was just kicking it with the boys at school.
So do you play any other sports?
Growing up, I played lots of sports. I did swimming and played volleyball, did athletics, like cross country, and then also played a lot of hockey when I was growing up, from 4 to about 10 years old. I didn't start playing football till I was 10.
Oh wow!
I played a lot of sports when I was growing up.
And what made you sort of decide like football was the one?
I think I wanted to play for a club, purely because of my best friend Sam at the time in my primary school. He played football for a club, and so did his brothers. I really wanted to join a team, so I had to go to mum and dad and try to convince them, can you guys please let me, go join Selwyn United, go join Sam's team. I joined Selwyn when I was 10 years old, and I was there until whenever I left, which was I think 15. I moved kind of, I guess, up teams. They had different grades and stuff like that, so I kind of moved up grades and got coached by a couple different people, one of which, Lee Padmore, ended up moving to the Phoenix Academy when I was maybe 14 or 15, and then so he that was kind of my connection. He coached there for a bit, and then a few of his players left the academy, so he said to myself and a couple other boys that he'd coached, he said, look, there's a couple spaces opened up, we'd like you to come trial and see how you go. And then that was kind of my pathway from going from Selwyn, like you say, with my best mate, to kind of moving up teams and going up the grades, to then trialing with the academy. There was four of us from my team that trialed, and two of us kind of got offered a spot, so I moved up to Wellington with him as well, and I moved into the boarding house. My family still lived in Christchurch, so I'd see them in the holidays and stuff like that whenever we got the opportunity.
And what was that experience of moving away from home at such a young age like?
It was pretty cool, honestly. I thought that it would be a lot more difficult than it was, to be honest. I was super fortunate with the group that we had in boarding. We were all super close. In the boarding house, it was honestly, I would describe it as just a massive extended sleepover with your mates. Those guys are still some of my best mates, and I'm still in contact with a lot of them.
And fast forward a few years, going through the academy to December 2021, we make your first team debut for the Phoenix. How'd that feel? Do you remember what that was like?
It was pretty cool. It was in a cup game, away in Melbourne, I believe. Yeah, it was in Melbourne. And so, kind of prior to that, I trained a couple times with the first team during their pre-season before they left because of COVID. And I was kind of in the middle of my school exams, and then Sean Gill rang me up and said, listen, we want to bring you over to Australia to basically help us with some cup games and the season and training and that sort of stuff. So that was a pretty surreal moment. I rang mum straight away and said, guess what, I'm going over to Australia. I need you to come help pack up my room in the boarding house. And then, going on to the debut, that was something pretty cool. It kind of happened pretty quick, to be honest, because I didn't really expect to start games at that time. I didn't really know what to expect. So to start that game, and I think we won 1-0 to progress in the cup, was pretty awesome. It's cool getting a pro debut and winning on that. it was an awesome moment.
And after that debut season, you sort of played less minutes in the following year, and as a young player, sort of still coming through. Like, how'd you sort of deal with that?
Yeah, that was difficult. I spoke a couple times about it, and it was a really big, I guess, learning year. I think because that first year, at the time, I played a decent amount in that first year, and I didn't quite understand that it was kind of because there was a couple injuries and different systems and that sort of stuff. So I kind of thought the natural progression is you play 15 games this year, then the next year you're going to play 25 games. And it was a big learning year for me. I think I had to really take a step back and kind of evaluate what I was doing to get better and how I was going to make the next year better for myself in terms of playing and performance. I speak with AP and Oldie, and we kind of say, like, how lucky were we to grow up essentially like in the academy. I know AP and Oldie have been best mates for years and years, and I played with him in the academy for 2 or 3 years, and then in the first team for a couple of years. And I think that culmination of everything, the kind of winning season that we had, and essentially like winning a lot of games, and I felt like we contributed a lot to the team, and both played a lot of minutes, but also performed to a high level throughout the season. I think that was something pretty special for us, but also the academy, because it kind of was one of the years where there was a lot more academy boys playing to a high level. I think in the past it's often been one boy this year, and then a couple of years later there's another one. And I think it was cool for kind of 3 of us to have like you say, I guess a breakout season all at once and experience that all together.
And for yourself personally, like, one of the highlight moments got to be that goal against Victory. Talk us through that, how'd that feel?
Yeah, it was awesome. Some of the boys tried to tell me it was an own goal, but I still claimed the goal. I tell people that's one of the best feelings, moments or nights of my life, to be honest. There was only maybe, I don't know how many in the crowd, 5,000-10,000, but I honestly felt like the stadium was full and a big roar. And I think at the time it was to guarantee us top 2 for the first ever time against a good Melbourne Victory team. And I remember running to the corner with Alex and Oldie, and I'd always had a kind of not a dream, but I want to run to the corner, to the Yellow Fever, and celebrate a goal, and to do that with them. And everything kind of it was just a crazy moment. Everyone's yelling and screaming, and Nico tackled me as I was trying to get up and ran to the corner with Alex and Oldie, and I hear Alex in my ear go, knee slide, and so count us down 3, 2, 1, and we just like a triple knee slide.
You also captained the U-20s at the World Cup, and went on to get your debut call up for the Always. How did that feel? Representing New Zealand.
That was a pretty good time for me, because, like I was saying before, because that 22-23 season was so tough. Kind of what keeps me in it and keeps me going a bit was knowing that I had under 20s coming up in Argentina. So that was kind of like a driving force to get through that season and keep my levels. Going to that World Cup was a great experience, and it was awesome, and like playing with a lot of boys that I grew up playing with, and then having the opportunity to captain them was something quite special. I think I take a lot of pride in that, because I feel the responsibility, and I want to take that on. So that was cool, and we managed to get out of our group, which was, I guess, it was an achievement for us. We were happy with that, and then we were very disappointed not to continue on past the round of 16. And I think from there, getting a call up was kind of such a special moment, because of it had been a difficult season, and then I feel like I performed well at the World Cup, and and then the next progression was into the senior national team, and that was just kind of like a wow, a moment, like coming from a place where you didn't really feel like you kind of believed in you that much at the club at the time, to New Zealand football, and they put responsibility on me and the pressure on me at the under-20s, and then to perform and get a subsequent call up was pretty cool, pretty big for me.
Was that ever a dream, like to represent New Zealand one day?
It wasn't kind of until I got serious about football, which was when I was maybe 16, and that was a time when I was in the academy, and I thought, like, I've got a chance here to play for the first team, and then hopefully kick on from there. And I vividly remember writing my goals at the start of that school year, my year 12 year. So I wrote down a bit vulnerable, but I wrote down New Zealand under-20, captain the 20s at a World Cup, and then become a pro. And after that, it was stay a pro. And those were kind of my 4 bullet points that I wrote, and they're up on my wall for the next 2 years at school. And I guess you could say, it was a dream to represent the national team.
And obviously, after that season with the Phoenix, MLS comes calling, signed for Portland Timbers. How hard was it to leave Wellington? And did you ever sort of, or did you consider like staying longer at the Phoenix, or was it always, when that offer came in, did you feel like, now's the time?
It was a difficult decision, but it also wasn't. It was kind of, I felt like it was the right time for me to take a step up. Everything that I had heard about the club and about what was kind of in store for me if I did move, everything about it that I heard was positive, and it really excited me, and I just think it was the right time for me to take a step up. I think there was always a possibility of me staying at the Phoenix. I still had a year left on my deal, I think, but when kind of a club shows that interest and shows that they want you, and they want you to be a part of their club and their team and their city, I think it's something special, and it really pulls you towards them. And I'm really glad that I moved to the Timbers.
And obviously, as we record this, you're in your second season now. You're starting games, captaining the team even an occasion, but in that first year, there was pretty limited game time. How was that experience for you? Was it sort of adjusting to the league? Was it like, how'd you find that first year?
Yeah, it was an adjustment period, I would say. It took time to, I guess, just get used to the players and the systems and the coaches and the lifestyle and the step up in level and that sort of stuff. I think that my year in the Phoenix, 22-23, helped kind of prepare me for not playing so much, and that helps. Yeah, that just helped me kind of be ready and a little bit more patient and understanding. I think I would have liked to play more in my first year there, my first few months, but I can't really say that now, because I got to play one game at the end of the season in the derby, and we won the Cascadia Cup, and it was almost like a dream debut for me, and I think it set me up well for this year. So
what's your experience of MLS been like? How have you found it all?
I've enjoyed it a lot. I think it was a great league for me to move to. I think they looked after me really well when I moved there. They helped me find kind of my apartments and set me up with bank accounts and all that sort of stuff, and really helped with all that, and made that kind of as seamless as possible to help me settle in and just really focus on the football when I got there. I think the level in terms of the football is, it was a big step up for me, and it took a bit of time to get used to the pace and the different players and the different styles that are played there. I find that MLS is a pretty good league for me because it's quite open, it's dynamic, it's fast, it's it's fun to play in. There's a lot of transition moments that I have to organize and defend in, and it's something that I feel I can really grow from. It's a league where I believe that I could develop a lot, both because of the players that I play with and against, but also because of the staff at my club. So,
and just lastly, obviously qualify for the World Cup. We've got that coming up. What would it mean to you to be a part of that and to represent New Zealand at the World Cup?
being able to say you're a part of it, I think it's like I said, it's the pinnacle of football, and to have that opportunity to hopefully represent New Zealand and go and compete at that World Cup would be super special. I think it would be something awesome for all the people that have helped me kind of get to where I am, junior coaches and support staff and friends and family, and just kind of like not like a repayment, kind of reward kind of thing for them if I'm able to get there.